Morning, everybody, and welcome on this wet, miserable day to the Turner Centre in Kirikiri, Islands-Whangaroa community meeting for Thursday, the 20th of June. I will ask our council, we've got Councillor Babe Kapa at the table with us today, and I have asked him to open us with a karakia, please.
Board Chair Ward, ka koutou hoki ko tai mai ki tēnei o tātou hui. Ke mai tātou. Ka tata mai koe i whai, wainganui a mātou i tēnei haura, a mātou e ārahi e āwhina. Ka tutuki pai hoki ngā kaupapa, i runga i te pono, te araho o te tangata, pai here te rungi te rangi māria, tuku nei ene inu e kia koe rungi te ingoa tau tama, ki mā kaipakora koe hukai i āmene.
Sure, Councillor Kapa. And just so all of you welcome, and just so you know who you are dealing with today, we'll all introduce ourselves to you, starting with you, Councillor Kapa.
My name is Babe Kapa. I'm a councillor Taitokera on Māori Ward. I'm originally from Kaikohe, and so the area I cover is, I suppose, for all of Taitokera.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anne Court. I'm a councillor for the Palmer District Council and, like they, one of the two councillors appointed to support this board. Lovely to see you all here this morning.
Morena, ana ko Amy Tukuingoa, no Kirikiri Aho. I am on the community board representing the Kirikiri chapter business.
Kia ora, Ori Hapati Pia Matapinga, the board member for the Moerewa Karakau subdivision.
Yes, good morning. I'm Bruce Mills and I represent the Whangaroa subdivision. I've travelled through the great flood waters to get here to do with you this morning. So, it's a bit, so the cold weather gets the hip. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Lane Eyre. I'm on community board representing the Kirikiri subdivision.
And I'm Belinda Ward, your chair for the day. I also represent Waihiwatu.
Morena, my name is Marie Bolin and I'm one of the Democracy Advisors.
Morena, I'm Casey Gannon, Manager of Democracy Services.
Tēnā tātou koutou, Jane Hindle toko ingoa no Kororaraka Aho. So I'm Jane Hindle and I look after Russell, Opua, Maramaku and Tauai, quite a big area. Thank you for coming today.
Kia ora, Kim Hammond. I am the Community Board Coordinator for the Bay of Islands-Whangaroa Community Board.
And kia ora everyone, most of you know me. I'm Catherine, I'm your funding advisor. So.
Thank you. And we've got any staff in the room? Additional staff? Yes.
Morena tātou. I'm Peggy Lee.
Sorry, Peggy, so right in front of me, but I didn't.
No, just hiding.
Thank you and welcome again, everybody. Moving on, we have apologies. I will move. Tyler Bamber is unwell today. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Lane. All those in support? Against? Carried. Any conflicts of interest with any of our applications today? No? Right, with that, we'll move straight into our, there's got no public for no deputations today, so we'll move into, we have a huge list of speakers for our funding applications today, and we will start off with Steph Gossip. Steph is actually representing the Cultural Learning Trust in relation to the funding application for promotion of education. It's on page 52 of your agenda. Welcome, Steph, if you'd like to come forward. Now, for those of you speaking, you have 5 minutes to present to us. That includes question time. Casey, you put your hand up with 1 minute to go, so if you'd like to leave yourself some time for questions from the board, please feel free to do so. Here's your Steph.
I'm here, Liz couldn't make it. She's one of the trustees on the Conquer Kalupa Trust, so I'm here representing them because I've got a funding application in and we've been doing some work with them. Unfortunately, I've given you this document a little bit late. It's only a few pages, but it just gives you an outline of the new Conquer Kalupa Trust. So back in May 23, the exotic caliper was discovered up on Makili Bay, and by June 23, Rāwhiti, all the community out there had got working on it straight away and got a can put in place, so there was no fishing, anchoring or diving, and then from there, Ngāti Kutu and Ngāti Pātūkēha all worked together to get central government funding, which was managed through the Ātarapiti Work Trust, and NRC managed that funding. So that funding got all the technology that they've brought up here, which is actually working to eradicate the exotic caliper, which no one else in New Zealand did. So that's funding was managed through the Works Trust, and they also got a lot of funding which helped with marketing and other sorts of things, all managed through NRC as well. But what they need to do is set up their own trust, which is the Conquer Caliper Trust, which is purely focusing on the eradication. And this is a new trust, which is February 24 was set up. There's 3 trustees now, and they're still looking for more trustees, which is really the whole wider Bay of Islands, if any kiri or anyone, if anyone's interested in being on a trust. So that trust is going to manage the technology going forward, and also the education and communication about caliper. So what they've got the funding for now is there is funding for our company, Blah Blah Marketing, to do PR and do marketing work. What there isn't funding for is to pay for the advertising and to develop promotional material like videos and that sort of thing. So this application is for, it's about $11,000, and it's for a whole lot of video content. Tamaera Hook, he's a local guy from Rāwhiti who is doing a video thing at university down in Auckland, and he would be doing the production of the video, and that would be all the video would be about getting the messages out there about how to, if you discover some caliper on your anchor, what to do. Some of the messages will be about getting more funds, because they still need to keep fundraising. It's not a done deal that we're getting. There's a whole lot of money coming from central government. So part of the application is for that. The other part is a quote that Blah Blah Marketing put in, and that is to cover the social media advertising and some graphic design work. So I just want to be clear that that money isn't coming to our company to pay our wages and that sort of thing. It's all going to be paid into the advertising, which is a planned campaign, which if the funding was successful, you'd see all the invoices and stuff. I just wanted to make that clear. So basically this is a small portion of the marketing and education campaign just to get started. When we did the market research, many boaties and people that were out on the water were using social media. So this campaign is going to be predominantly driven through social media to really try and educate and prevent the spread of the exotic caliper. Any questions?
Thanks, Steve. Questions? Wayne?
Hi. I'll admit a bias that I didn't admit before. I'm a boatie, so you close my best anchorage for that.
1 minute.
1 minute? What I'm interested in is we as boaties pay the regional council, which started with FAMWA. They instituted a charge to everybody that's on a marina or on a pile mooring or whatever else. A charge, a levy. And we questioned how effective it was with fanworm, and then it was changed to all marine pests, which I'm assuming this falls under the category. So I'm somewhat, I don't understand why regional council is funding this thing in its entirety. I'm still paying the levy as a boater. So you're asking me to pay again through it.
Oh, well, I think it's not going to just be the council, the central government, all the ratepayers paying in the end. I think all of us individually, if we want to have the Bay of Islands keep the marine environment as it is, and that's tourism, boaties, people that use it for kai, moana, we have to, everyone's going to have to put money in. It's not just going to be the ratepayer in the end. I think I can't answer your question about why NRC aren't paying more. I know that central government and NRC are putting a lot of money into this technology. hopefully will remove, eradicate, keep that chlorpha from spreading and pretty much devastating under the water in the Barm Islands.
Chair, please. I'm just curious to know when you'll be running the campaign, because you've got some dates which look like it's going to be run over winter, and yet obviously it's going to be
Okay, yes. So no, it will not. So we'll start the video, and I mean that's going to take a while to do the production and that sort of thing. And so those campaigns, there'll probably be a few soft things going throughout winter, but you're right, it will go in periods of the holidays, like the October.
But your application says the end date is the end of August, so that's to actually generate material.
So that will be with Tamiera, to do the work, and then
so
following
this is
that,
for the production phase,
yeah,
and then you'll be rolling it
and
out.
so it's advertising, that payment for that, which is about $3,000 for those adverts, will go throughout the summer.
Yeah. That was just my question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not a winter campaign. Yeah, that's cool.
I suppose my questions around the applications of these videos. There's been quite a bit of time on social media, and I see a lot of, I suppose, the applications of videos and there's documentation coming out of the Norfolk Regional Council, as well as from the different areas that are around us. You say it's pretty much that there's a lot of, I suppose, videos and instructions of what to do when you do find the secret. And I'm just trying to figure out how those will deliver the information that has been seen.
So it's appeal to a few different demographics. So we want to appeal to the people that are coming up from Auckland and stuff, to try and get them not just to do the right thing, but to maybe donate. So it's not just the far north ratepayers. And so we actually want to use local people out at Apathy and stuff, to some kids, some people out on boats, to talk about it and the effect. So it's just doing a different angle. It's not just the same stuff that's coming out from NFC and MPI. So it's just to try and actually appeal to different people and make them actually stop and read it, because as much as you've seen that stuff and you might be responsible, there are still people in those can areas pulling up these anchors and going off with seaweed on them. So.
One last question.
Cool. I've just got questions around videos. And so the first one is the duration of the video will be how long?
So there'll be a whole series of videos. Yeah. So so we'll probably do, there will be one long one that will be on the website, and then that can be broken up into shorter ones. And one reason there will be a lot of different shorter ones is because the message might change as well. So we don't want to spend a whole lot of time on one message, which could change quite quickly depending on what happens. So, that's something that we'll work towards. There'll be, so if you looked at it on Facebook or if it popped up, there could be a 15 or 30 second sort of quick sort of thing, or something a bit longer. So there's different series.
And the other thing is, once the video is concluded, who can own it?
So that would be the Concord Community Trust. Yeah.
And is the video leaning toward an educational aspect of it as well?
Educational, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, and that's actually really getting the people, trying to really show people the effect of the chlorpha as well, because it's pretty devastating.
So the advertising and the video will be a combination.
Yeah.
Complementary.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a whole big sort of campaign and plan behind it that, so certain videos will go with certain messages, whether it be eradication or donations. And there's also other material. It's not just video that will be going, the only video that's been applied for here. There'll be other material, info, metrics and things like that. Not infometrics, sorry, little infogram, different cartoony type messages that will go out as well.
Seems to be the sensitive nature of this issue. Questions are kind of without being
Right, I just wanted to find out, there's marketing and then there's video and then there's social media and video, YouTube. No, is it all of these segments?
So his was the competitive quote that we got. No, we've gone with a different quote. Yeah. So we've gone with
Smart.
Yeah.
And not the other.
Yeah. And then
Did that answer your question, Amy?
Yeah, I was just confused.
oh yeah, so it was just really to show that yeah.
Thank you, Steph. Sorry to cut you off.
No. Yeah, thank you.
We are taking our funding applications into exclusion later today due to the fact that we need to have a real free and frank discussion number of applications we've had. So you're welcome to stay and listen to the other presenters or we'll be in touch with you. Okay. Thanks, Steph.
Thanks.
Right, next up we have Rob Brown. Welcome, familiar face, Rob, from Vision Kirikiri. Rob's here to talk to page 93 on the Wairoa Screen Track repairs and maintenance.
Good morning. Thank you very much for hearing us today. I've come today to ask for three specific things. One is felling 7 privet trees, large privet trees, a couple of spray suits, and also 1 first aid course. Our interest is in restoring the stream. We've been doing it for over 10 years now, and we've had lots of support from the community board in the past, particularly getting around the very steep area behind above the Te Wairiri waterfall and the safety fencing, and also felling other trees in 2019. We haven't come to you for funding for quite a long time, well over 5 years, and we're pretty self-sufficient. And we like to be that way. We use our labour and we're happy to do it. And we're quite good at getting donations of either cash or in kind of businesses and sometimes cash off of people who walk the track. It's well used, but our goal is not only to have a track, but we're also trying to restore it to something like it might have been 700 years ago, replacing native forest and getting rid of weed species of trees, and really to restore the habitat and restore the stream. Much of our work is in fact on track maintenance, but weed busting is a lot of our work, and we have got rid of most alien weed species. By that I'm talking about Taiwan cherry, tobacco weed, privet, and brush wattle and black wattle, and these things are a blight on Kirikiri, and we're actually trying to make our stream, as well as a well-used public walkway, perhaps the only weed-free part of Kirikiri. It's pretty, I know it's pretty ambitious goal. In our weed busting, however, we've got rid of a huge number of privet, which is a particularly noxious and plant with our own efforts. But on this occasion, we've got 7 large trees which are prolific seed sources, and privet, in fact, in some of the regenerating areas is becoming the dominant species. Over the years, we were somewhat surprised to learn that the canopy was becoming privet. And so we're using our best efforts to, as far as possible, eliminate privet on the track, as well as Taiwan cherry. We've made good progress with those, but we cannot manage the privet on our own. We really need a contract to do it. And we've asked for about $7,200 for a contract to take them out for us. With regard to the spray suits, we do spraying, and I do quite like to keep our team safe, and we would like to replace 2 worn out suits. And I've got a first aid course myself, but if we get someone else first aid trained, that would be useful. We often work in dispersed groups up and down the track, so more than one qualified person would be helpful. I guess that's the background of what I'm trying to do, and I'm quite happy, of course, to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Rod, and thanks to the ongoing volunteers that support you in the community of Kirikiri is very important. We know that there's lots of amazing community assets that exist, so thank you.
questions.
Questions, because I need to. Morning.
Good morning, Hank.
I just want to confirm all of your volunteers meet the council criteria for safety and.
Yes, we have to lodge a health and safety plan with the council, and we've got a management agreement with council. It's about 4 or 5 years old, 4 years old now. And well, yes, it's on your files. It doesn't have to be renewed. It was the first volunteer agreement the council ever had. I think they must have wished they hadn't started with us. We were not easy to negotiate with. Yeah. They had a top-down approach. They hadn't understood that this was our initiative and we were bottom-up running it well. It took a year to re-educate some of the staff, but we got there. And it's signed and it's in your files. Yes.
Yes. I have one quick question, Mr. Chair.
Jane,
just a very quick acknowledgement of the amazing work you do. Could you clone your group and distribute it to and power? But also, I just wanted to note that you've asked for the full cost of the items. We normally go 50%, but I wanted to note that you put in something like $416,000 of volunteer labour on this project. So I think it balances very well.
Yes, and so the total value of the project is about $430,000 now since I've lodged it. About 56% of that is our labour, which we charge at $20 an hour, but it's now up to $22.15. I think keeps going up. So we've increased our
so what I'm saying is a significant amount of stuff that's gone in. So this is just...
And the rest of it comes from the community board and council themselves haven't had to contribute very much at all. It's actually about 17%. The rest of it, of the 44%, is various donations in kind. For example, Arvida, you send diggers along and do things for us, and it's a good way to get things done at very low cost. Ratepayers are always grizzling about paying rates, and we're quite happy to avoid the costs of the ratepayers. How's that?
Awesome.
That should bring tears to your eyes.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Any other questions? Well, my only question to you is, knowing how long you've been involved in working on this particular project, but others as well. Does I know in the agreement there's no succession program.
No, there isn't.
Is an organisation?
Well, I'm trying to stay alive as long as possible because no one wants the organising bit. I've got plenty of people who are much cleverer than me at building bridges and tracks and planting things. And I'm actually hoping to go on for a few years, but if anyone actually would like to take over organising, the job is available, but there's no takers so far.
Well, totally, Robert, yes. So you might like to take this opportunity for a plug for your AGM. Is it this Saturday?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
For those who would like to involved.
Yes, the AGM.
AGM Saturday.
Saturday at St John's Hall at 2 p.m. Yeah, 2 o'clock, yes. Yes. And our Mayor, Moko Tapani, is going to be talking to us, so it is worth coming along. The AGM bit will be done very briefly and quickly. Rolf pilots that through rapidly because people don't like that, but Moko will be very good, I'm sure.
Wonderful. Thanks, Rod. Lovely to see you. We'll make a decision later on the day. Right, next up, I think we have the video link. Mandy Lynn representing Everybody is a Treasure. This is in relation to the funding application for the Islands-Whangaroa and Body Positivity Project. It's on page 46 of your agenda.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, we can. You have 5 minutes. Excellent. And you may like to leave some time for questions.
Absolutely. Well, just a quick rundown on the project. We have 2 components here, and then there's actually extra little bits that are in there, but that'll be determined whether we get the funding through Creative Communities, as whether we'll be bringing those up as well. But what we have planned is a body positive workshop in the region. And we have currently been working on this one for several years. We've actually got a film that's been made about it that's touring the world at the moment. But basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting on a workshop for families. And then in the morning, chasing that with the film and an artist talk. And then after that, it's going to be a body positive experience for women who choose to. And that's where they get covered in golden clay and photographed to be part of an exhibition that is they're photographed from their neck to their belly. And it's an exhibition that is a counterpoint to the 600 Photoshopped images that our youth see each day. So we're basically wanting to bring this to the far north to have an opportunity for participation. The second part of what we're doing is our organization is running a youth arts wānanga, and that's where we're identifying the top young artists in each region. And we are supporting them with training and education, both live and carrying on online as well. And that will be folding them into the ecosystem that is Create Happy Media, which is a by youth for youth magazine and media company that has over 60 writers from across the country. And they basically have decided to take ownership of the stories that are being told about youth, as opposed to having the mainstream media tell their stories. So it's really quite a beautiful organization. The coolest kids I've ever met. Like, they're just awesome. And it's such a privilege to be able to work alongside them and support them in their mahi. But yeah, we want to create opportunities for the far north to be involved as well. So that's what we're asking for funding for. So it's going to cost $9,000 for us to come up, but we're splitting that between the 3 wards. So we're only asking for $3,000 in support so that we can bring this stuff to life. Yeah.
Thanks, Mandy. I'm sure there's some questions, so I'll start with that.
Morena, how many rangatahi from Bay of Islands-Whangaroa do you think you'd include in the workshop?
Yeah, so we're hoping to have at least 10 from the region, and those will be identified by the teachers at the school. That's for the actual youth arts wānanga, which but the body positive one, it's open to whoever would like to come to it. So that's going to be completely wide open. I think we can have about 100 attend that as well. That's not the kids will not be involved in the covering in golden clay. That's 18 and up. It's the morning sessions that are done with the families. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mandy. I took quite a lot of notice of all your reports and things like that, your annual reports and stuff. And you have a huge amount of moving parts in the organisation with lots of projects. I got a little confused because one of the things mentioned something in Kawakawa, events in Kawakawa, and also one of the reports mentioned you work with a couple of schools in finals as well. So, in the interest of clarity, what you're asking funding for is the wānanga that's being held or vice versa?
We're asking for funding for the 2 projects. So to bring the body positive one to the region, and to bring the kids down for the youth arts wānanga. And so, yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you particularly well there.
I was just about the Kawakawa. You had something in Kawakawa.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the wānanga at the Mutabasa in Whangarei, and I was just trying to get clarity on what funding was for. Is it for the Kawakawa and the finals one, or is it for taking kids from the finals to the wānanga in Whangarei?
It's for both.
Okay,
Yeah.
and if so, how do you select? I know which schools, there's a lot of schools in the finals. Which schools would you be working with?
We'd be working with the secondary schools and getting them to identify. So basically what happens is we have an allotted amount of scholarships, which will be the 10 scholarships, and then we will ask the schools to put forward their top candidates for those scholarships, and then supporting them to come down.
Mandy, just for the clarification, you said that there will be 10 selected from our region.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean our area?
Yes, from your area. That's correct. Yes. So it's not from the whole far north.
So 2 from, how many from each school will go down? 2. Is that right?
It'll be 10 from your side, from your ward. So we'll have to be working with the schools and figure out, we'll have the 10 scholarships. My thinking is that we'll ask them to put forward portfolios of the kids that they think are going to be best suited for it. We're looking specifically for kids who have a strength in illustration or photography, and because we'll be able to best develop those youth. Yes. If that helps.
Mandy, I just wanted to get a clarity.
Sure.
You're applying for 9,000
between the 3 wards.
Between the 3 wards in Northland?
In
Far North? Yeah. And that the Whangaroas are being held in each community board area?
That's correct. Well, sorry, not the Youth Arts Whananga. That one's being held at the moment. We have our plan is to hold it in Whangaroa, because we have the support of the Handavasa Gallery or Art Center. But the body positive workshops we intend to hold in the individual regions. For wherever we get funding is where we'll bring it, basically, if that makes sense. So if we don't receive funding, we don't have the capacity to be able to bring it. But if we receive funding, then that will bring us to the region.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mandy. That's the end of the questions. Thank you for coming online today, and we'll let you know later today what the outcome is.
Thank you very much. Ka kite.
Next up, we have Angela Barker representing Kirikiri Sports Complex in relation to funding application for Te Amaru Futuro. This is page 107 in your agenda. Good.
Thank you for the opportunity to present. In November last year, we were unsuccessful in receiving community board funds for our Marahupara, and you had some concerns for us to address. We've gone away and considered the points you raised, namely whether the playground was considered a district-wide asset, how would ongoing maintenance be funded, and what guarantees you would have that our project would ever eventuate given the value of the full project versus your own contribution. With regard to the district-wide asset consideration, we have worked hard with the FNDC asset and project delivery team to further determine what we are, and special thanks to Jeanette England and Katie May who have worked with us on this. In February, Jeanette was able to confirm that our kaupapa is ward rated and is a community asset, not a district-wide asset. The maintenance for the completed asset has now been boosted from 800 per year to 11,000 per year, and this will be funded in the FNDC maintenance contract once the play space is established, and we have a letter from FNDC to cover that. With regard to delivery, we went back to the drawing board and recreated our approach to become a phased delivery project. This step change will allow many benefits. Firstly, we can provide something to our community sooner, which is obviously the primary focus of our project. Secondly, we can prove to future funding providers that we can and will deliver. which provides them with security that their funds will be used appropriately. And thirdly, we can begin our payback to those who have already supported us, which you can see from the sign, which was kindly donated by Halbo Signs. And on the right-hand side, those are the people who have provided funding and sponsorship to us already. Based on the new approach, we would be looking at needing approximately 130,000 by November this year in order to start construction and deliver phase 1 in early 2025. We currently have $43,000 in the bank and $11,000 with the playground centre. We are confident that some of that 130,000 budget could be sourced through donations, and mainly in-kind donations of labour, but also plants from local nurseries. Rotary has already offered support to do of labour hours, man hours to create the planting. And we have a campaign planned to target local businesses for purely monetary sponsorship to be able to buy the main parts of the equipment. However, as you will be able to tell, there is still a financial shortfall that requires support, and today we ask you to consider committing $50,000 from your placemaking fund to Te Iwi Pūtoro. Since our last submission, we have been declined funding for Foundation North because the asset will be owned by FNDC. This was a frustrating setback, and we hope we won't hit the same problem when we resubmit to lotteries in July for phase 2 and 3 funding, which is where we're hoping to get that. I note in the agenda there's a recommendation for a reduced amount of $10,000 to be awarded to us, but unfortunately, given the numbers above, it wouldn't be enough to get us across the line and have spades in the ground this year. Te Iwi Pūtoro will be an amazing play space with wide community benefits, telling the stories of our mana whenua to the 1,500 plus members of the sports complex who use the site weekly, but also to the wider local community who use the park area, as well as visitors and tourists to our local area wanting to combine learning about our history with play. Please help us create this community asset.
Thank you. Questions? Fine.
There's probably somewhere in that, all of that paper, that the complete project.
Yes.
The whole board, 1, 2, and 3, how much?
400,000. 400,000 when you listed out the quantity surveyors report, but in-kind donations, I think we can bring that down.
And time frame for doing the whole thing?
Completely funding based, but if we were, do you mean if we were to be given a whole amount?
5 years, 2 years?
5 years, 5 years. 5 years or less is the aim, because with the way the lotteries works, 1/3, 2/3, if we can complete phase 1, then we have been working with lotteries to try and be successful in their next funding round, which we're going to apply in July. You don't get told until December if you've been successful, but if we are in delivery of phase 1, that is our 1/3.
And in the beginning, you said that this was going to be all rated?
Yes. Yeah.
Not a district-wide?
Not district-wide asset. That's what I mean. Thank you.
And I'm a little unclear on the process that's been arrived at, that's determined that this will be a council asset and it will sit on council's maintenance schedule. It's not in any annual plan or LTP that I've come across. So if you could just fill in the gaps for me so I understand how we arrived at this position, that would be really helpful.
Absolutely. So I think it is in the LTP. There was a line item in the LTP a few years ago when this project originally started, but it was only funded in the vein of ongoing maintenance. It originally started because in 2019, when the project started, council effectively gifted the land that it would be that the playgroup would be built on, and then we worked with both the asset management department, but the CEO at the time, and worked through a plan that if we could build and create the asset from community funds, then the FNDC could take it. Okay.
I was just wondering if, I know 10,000 is probably not going to be enough, but do you think you're going to need 50,000 for it to be able to continue? Or is it just...
No, because we'll keep going. We'll do what we can do. And we don't talk about the phase project prepared on the top. Yeah. And so depending on how much we get here, we may have to even just shrink it slightly again and just start from something with it. As I said, we've got that cash asset in the bank to be able to start, and then whatever you'll be doing with it, then we'll go to as much as we can so that we can get started in that construction season in November. And then that's where we push to the wider community and talk about what they can help and deliver to help deliver this. So, yeah, anything over 20, I think we'd be getting into the part of starting and just locking in contractors and just getting, and again, it's the momentum. If we can just get started and get something delivered, get this sign is going to be placed on the site. So, yeah, just to get people moving.
And from what I understand, if we get the first phase happening, then we're more likely to get the funding for the simple things.
Absolutely, a lot easier. That's that 1/3 to 2/3. So, yeah, we believe this is our 1/3.
Thank you, Angela.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Richards, representing Tuina Military in relation to funding application for Te Whangaroa Arts Summit, page 76 of the agenda.
Our Richards Te Whenua, he kai mahi au toinga pili taku tūranga, yeah, I thank you for the opportunity to present today. We're requesting funding towards Te Toi Mahara, which is an event running in Waitangi in October, and this is the fourth time, as it says in the application, this is the fourth time we've tried to mount this event, given COVID and COVID, basically. And originally we planned it for 2020, which was very soon after our organisation launched, in terms of gathering Ngāpuhi Nui Tonu together and looking at our future in terms of creative and cultural expression across Te Taikura. And but given we're nearly 5 years into our program and remounting the event again, the purpose and themes you'll see in the application is Ngāti o Papua, so looking out over the horizon and positively visioning for our communities, but specifically with a mahi toi with cultural and creative events. I'm assuming everyone's read the application, so just in terms of updates or other information, I suppose, there's been a group of artists that are meeting in Islands-Whangaroa now in terms of preparing for the event. So that's sort of happening because there's activities in the event include like a speakers forum. There's going to be what we're calling more to of like creative activities from the weavers and the carpenters. We're holding an exhibition at Waitaha for the period, which includes and the people, the artists involved in that, there's around 35, and most of them are engaged in our programs, and that's sort of one thing that we do in terms of continually providing sort of networking opportunities for those that are participating. So, like in terms of our taiori, which we've had two, rangatahi, we've had two cohorts of our arts leadership program, and at least 15 of the 40 are participating in this event in various ways. And that sort of leads on to the ticketing and the attendance. So we're looking at around 180 people, and we're looking at probably selling about 80 tickets to help with the costs of the event, because it's being held at the treaty grounds and there's just costs associated there that you can't avoid. And then, so then there's the artists participating, the young people participating. We have about 5 scholarship tickets, the hokainga, so there's a variety of people that will be attending and not paying. So just sort of wanting to be clear around that. And then in terms of the budget and other funders, we had applied to charity and Oxford Sports Trust. I think it was something like that. And we received 13,000 from both of them. So we're still at the stage of the program is confirmed. We're still looking for funders, and there'll just be things that are trimmed, according to the budget as we go along. Yes. I was just thinking about engagement, really. So, to explain to you, and the team will be staying at Tokara Marae. Originally, we planned to be working closely with Te at their community relations. So we're looking at some night event on Tauranga that would, bring in that community as well. I might stop there and hand over for questions.
I don't know why we scare people, but
I'm just a bit out of practice, actually.
Because we are live streaming.
Oh, right.
Just clarification going around funding applications that you have out there with the various that are pending from charity. What were those amounts again?
8 from Pub Charity and
Oxford 5. Money's tight, so it's well down.
Yeah, well, Pub Charity last time, with the event, we were up to, I don't know, we were ready to go. We had to refund all the tickets, and, Pub Charity put up to 25 at that time, but it's the environment we're in right now.
James, through the chair, the question we often ask is if you were unsuccessful, would the event still go ahead?
Yeah.
Okay. It's entirely
well, as I said, just it is.
So, Gail, these courses you've been running for how long?
We launched in 2019 at Korupata at the end of that year, and Taiohi Taioha was our first program. So that started in 2020, and it's a 2-year program. So it's it's for 20 Taiohi, and the first year is wānanga, and then the second year is internships, apprenticeships. So it's quite a concentrated education program, leadership program, but marae-based and community-based. So we've had 2 cohorts. So we're still going with the internships, and then next year, which is year 5 of that project, will be community projects where they will work on projects in the community. Yeah, then we'll review and start ideas.
Just to add to them, the follow-on from these one that placed the tile in what sort of state and what sort of position?
Oh, I should have said, in terms of the previous question, with our Taiohi that will be participating in this, there's 7 from Whangaroa. And that's not just because I'm from Whangaroa, that's just how it worked. And the one of the goals that we have is creating opportunities for people to come home, and a long-term goal is that we grow the pool of working in the kainga that provide, that work in the community. And from our Taiohi program, already we've had 5 come through. And we've got 3 working. and the valuation has shown that it's been transformational for them. That's like, so far so good in terms of that.
Thank you. We're out of time now. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thanks for taking time out to come and listen to us today. And next up we have Diana Halliday. Representing Oakville Horse Society in relation to funding application for the rehabilitation and safety improvements, page 60 of your agenda.
So I'm Diane Halliday. I'm chairperson of the Oakville Hall. Carol and Kate. I'd just like to, for those of you who don't know the Oakville Hall, I'll just give a brief history. Just over 101 years ago, a group of residents held a meeting on 18th of June 1923 and formed the Oakville Hall Society with the intention of building a community hall. By August that year, 2 freehold sections were bought in Beachy Street and the proposed building has been drawn up. Fundraising began and still continues. The Oakville Hall Society was registered on the 1st of December 1923. Working bees were held to excavate the bank and level the site with pickaxes, shovels and wheelbarrows to accommodate the new building. If you saw the building now, you'd probably see the pickaxe marks at the back of the building, which is what we need to deal with today. The hall was built and had mixed fortunes and hard times, but by 1930 it was holding regular picture shows. Unfortunately, burnt down after a picture show in 1933. Fundraising to rebuild started straight away, and the new hall opened on the 9th of October 1935. That is the building that stands today, which is almost 89 years old. We are asking the community board for a grant to help us rehabilitate the outside grounds, specifically safely remove the large overhanging trees at the rear of the hall that are grown in steep terrain and require professional contractors to remove. There's very limited access and have potential to cause damage to the roof in order to make the rear damp. We do have some photos of you. We have finally been able to start work on what was our playground area after several years of toxic sewage spillage from a broken pipe located to the west of the hall in Franklin Street, not our pipes. This was rectified late last year by the Far North District Council contractors who removed, disinfected and replaced the topsoil and provided grass seed for the area. The hall committee and volunteers have been busy and the area is looking really good already. The hall is used daily for a wide and diverse range of activities with regular groups such as seniors exercise, yoga, indoor bowls, after-school activities, midwife services, bridge club and a variety of dance groups. In fact, last week it was on live TV, one of our dance groups on the breakfast show at the hall. Additionally, we use family gatherings, birthdays, weddings, memorial services, community meetings, concerts, dances, waka ama training, we've got a weekend coming up, whānau groups, sport movement and market days. There is no other equivalent facility in the Oakville area. We're continually updating our facilities. In recent times, we've remodeled the storage area, painted the kitchen, purchased a portable stage, and installed ceiling fans this summer. To my knowledge, we have not received any previous funding from the community hall or the council. Our hall is today one of the few public halls owned and maintained wholly by the community. Required standards ensured and currently warrant fitness. So we have, for 100 years, managed without council funding, but this is a very specific project which requires contractors and volunteers can't do it because the terrain is too steep and it's too difficult of work, too unsafe to have done.
Thanks, Diana. That's it. Even though this hall is not owned and operated and doesn't sit in our delegation like most of our community halls, we do acknowledge you all for the work that you do as volunteers to maintain the asset for the benefit of the wider community. It's not just a good work. Just want to acknowledge that. Any questions?
I just have one, Madam Chair, if I may. And you see the photos are here now. I just want to know what kind of trees they cleared there and if there was any role in that plan that might and come down. Not that I want to rain on your parade.
No, particular one that
protected removes.
particular one that is the problem is pine. To be quite honest, there is a totara just above the pine, which had been trimmed by the neighbour a year or so ago. But it's the pine that's the particular problem. And I think they call it buffalo grass. I'm not entirely sure it's huge grass thing. It's just that the area is extremely steep, and we do quite a bit of volunteer work, but it's not safe for us to do that work.
So it's one pine tree.
Well, there's one large pine tree, yes, basically, and the surrounding scrub. But yes, basically it's just one large tree.
It's awesome. Thank you. There is other vegetation, Diana.
There is other vegetation, yes, which is, I think they call it buffalo grass or something, but it's the large pine tree that requires the professional
like the quotas for the removal and
for the removal and the cleaning up of that area, yes. See, the access is very difficult, so, but yes.
I think they hear a question. I just want to acknowledge in 100 years of self-sustainability, community taking care of the issues. It's a huge effort.
Yes. We
as one thing I remind the board that Simpson Park Hall is also a utility that is owned by the community, and this board has helped in the deployment. It's very good to see.
I just this would like to take over some other.
Through the chair, I'd like to acknowledge the Opua community because you did an amazing job, and I was going to say the same thing. It maybe is better if the council doesn't manage that in chief court. Did you include your security night in this funding?
No, security night is kind of an issue because it's not the halls. It's actually just publicly on the roads.
Oh, it's on the roads.
Yeah, so it's not really it's not a hall issue as such. It was one of those things that was suggested not be nice. But it's come from the community, not us specifically. Yeah, okay.
If you could give me a bit of detail, we'll follow it up. Yes. But money's a bit short.
But so. Yes, no, this is specifically for this one project. As you say, we do. We're lucky the hall is well used, and we generally keep our on the straight and narrow when it comes to funding. But this is something that we can't do. So you to require professional.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Next we have DPG representing Islands-Whangaroa in relation to funding application for Tira Ona Tamariki, page 60 for the community. Morning. Very exciting project for a while. Right, I am at the moment redesigning a comms manager with Indonesian on the north. My whakapapa is section 2 Te Hara. So things a little bit of foreigner, but what I do have is passion that I share so many set for our community, especially with Tamaki, who are